Hello. So, over the last few weeks, I've been trying to be more aware of when I eat and how I'm feeling when I eat and if I'm hungry. And I've really come to know that I'm not hungry in the mornings. I've sort of always known this and pushed out like eating breakfast to the latest that I can before I have to head off for the day and have a sort of smaller breakfast. And then around lunchtime, I'm also not hungry because I've eaten that breakfast and it hasn't been that long till lunchtime, and I sort of eat lunch around lunchtime just to break up the day more than because I'm hungry. And these two meals sort of tend to be smaller meals, so then by dinner time I am actually hungry and I notice this, and I like to have an early dinner because I'm hungry. So that's sort of what I've become aware of around my meals. And I've also become aware that if I sort of feel those first signs of hunger, I like to have a snack, like a sort of protein-based muesli bar or something. And I think this comes from a habit of being afraid of being hungry. So back before I started my healthy lifestyle journey, I had a pretty unhealthy diet, and so I was a sugar burner. And so if I didn't eat, I would feel really weak and sort of get the shakes. And I think this sort of built a sort of ingrained fear of hunger. I remember going on a walk with my family once, and I was hungry before we even started, and I knew that I was going to get this feeling. So I only walked a little way, and then I just sat down and waited for them to go for the walk. So I really didn't like the way this made me feel, and this was at a time that I was sort of transitioning from my standard diet to a more real food diet and starting to sort of eat more low carb healthy fat, which has dramatically changed the way I feel about food. I eat more protein and healthy fats now, and so this keeps me satiated longer, and so I don't get this horrible feeling of that low blood sugar and shakes and like I'm going to pass out. And what this means is my body has now become fat adapted. So when there isn't any glucose left in my bloodstream, which is what your body sort of uses for fuel when you're a sugar burner, it can transition much easier over to using your excess fat stores for energy. And I love this. This is great. So it was really interesting to notice that habit of being afraid of being hungry still coming up, even though my body doesn't have that same reaction that it used to. And what I've learned about from Brooke Castillo's podcast this week is about using what she calls the hunger scale. So the hunger scale starts from -10 and then goes to 0 and then goes to +10. So -10 is like absolutely starving, feel like you haven't eaten for a week, probably do have some of those sort of low blood sugar symptoms like feeling really weak or you're going to faint. And then 0 is neutral, you're just feeling fine, like not hungry or not full. And then +10 is like absolutely stuffed, like think after Christmas dinner, you've had snacks and you've had dinner and you've had dessert and you're completely stuffed and you just can't fit anything else in. And so Brooke recommends to eat within a range of around -4 to +4 or 6. And this is really individual. You sort of have to find what is right for you. So the idea is to wait until you're actually physically hungry before you eat. So when you're getting down to that -4, if you go much below that, then you start to sort of get really hungry, and that's when you can easily overeat or make choices that aren't so healthy. You sort of just want to eat whatever you can find at the time. And then if you're eating a meal that's high in healthy fats and protein, then you are going to get satiated. You're going to fill yourself up to that sort of +4 to 6. Some people don't even know what it feels like to be hungry. You're constantly eating all day, and so my challenge to you is to wait until you get hungry before you eat. And if you don't get hungry, just keep waiting. Like wait all day if that's as long as it takes. As long as you're keeping hydrated and drinking plenty of water, then you're going to be okay. You're not going to fade away. The idea around this is to start helping to balance out your hunger hormones. So we have two main hormones that regulate our hunger, and they are ghrelin, which is mainly produced in the stomach. And so this is known as the hunger hormone, and it lets the body know that we're getting low on energy and we need to eat. It stimulates our appetite. And the other one is leptin, and leptin is produced in the body's fat cells, and its job is to send signals up to the brain to let it know that we've eaten enough and we're not hungry anymore. And what we need to work out is what hunger actually feels like to you. Does it feel like a grumbly tummy, or do you feel it somewhere else in your body? And so the difference, there's two different kinds of hunger, as I've talked about. So there's physical hunger, and that starts like as a sensation in your body. So that's your hormones doing their job, sending a signal up to the brain. And then the other type of hunger is emotional hunger, and that's when a thought is generated in the brain, and then that sends the signal down to your body, and that drives you to eat. So that's the emotional side of hunger. So determining these different, in between these two different types of hunger, is what's really going to help you use this hunger scale and actually eat when you're physically hungry. So this is what I'm going to be focusing on over the next few weeks, is using this hunger scale and being curious about whether I'm eating because I'm physically hungry or emotionally hungry. And I hope you join me in giving this a try. And if you like this video, please subscribe and share this video with anyone that you might think that will find inspiration or hope in what I've spoken about today. And also head on over to insideoutnutrition.co.nz, sign up for my newsletter to get all my latest updates, and follow me on Facebook or Instagram at InsideOutNutritionNZ. See you in the next video.